Have you ever been insulted so deeply that the words stayed with you long after the moment had passed? Maybe it happened online. Maybe it came from someone you love. A careless comment, a cruel joke, a harsh judgment. You told yourself to ignore it, to stay calm. But inside, it hurt, and somehow, it lingered. Most people react. Some get angry. Some stay silent, but carry the pain for days. Some replay the moment over and over, wishing they had said something different. But what if you didn't have to react? What if you could meet the insult with clarity instead of confusion, with wisdom instead of wounds? What if I told you that the Buddha himself was insulted many times, and that his response was unlike anything the world expects? He didn't fight back. He didn't retreat in shame. He responded with a calm so deep that it disarmed even his harshest critics. In this video, we'll explore what the Buddha did when faced with insult and disrespect, and how you can do the same. You'll discover a way to meet even the harshest words with strength, with peace, and with a freedom that nothing outside you can shake. Because the real question is not, how do I stop people from insulting me? The real question is, how do I meet those moments without losing myself? Let's begin. Have you ever wondered, why do words hurt so much? They're just sounds in the air, just letters on a screen. And yet, a single sentence can stay in your heart for years. An insult doesn't wound the body, but sometimes it hurts even more than a physical blow. Why? Because behind every insult, there is a threat to how we see ourselves. We all carry an image of who we are. We want to be seen as good, kind, strong, worthy. When someone insults us, that image feels attacked, and we don't just hear their words. We begin to doubt ourselves. Maybe I'm not smart. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe they're right. This is why insults sting, not because of the words themselves, but because of the meaning we give them. And that meaning comes from one place, the ego. The Buddha taught that the ego, our sense of I, me, and mine, is the root of all suffering. When the ego hears an insult, it cries out, "How dare they say that about me?" It feels exposed. It wants to defend, to strike back, to restore its image. But the truth is, our true nature is beyond insult. The insult touches only the surface, not who we really are. Think about this. If someone called you by the wrong name, would you feel hurt? No, because you know that's not your name. In the same way, when someone throws an insult at you, you suffer only if somewhere inside you believe it might be true. The wound exists not in the words spoken, but in the place where we haven't healed. And so, insults become mirrors. They show us where we are still clinging to identity, to pride, to the need for validation. The Buddha called this attachment to the self. It's the idea that we are only this name, this reputation, this role in the world. When that identity is threatened, we feel pain. But when we recognize that we are more than this image, when we rest in awareness rather than ego, the insult passes through us like wind through an open window. It doesn't leave a trace. This doesn't mean we let others harm us, but it means we don't hand them the power to shake our peace. The pain of insult reveals not a flaw in the other person, but a place inside us that's still seeking approval, still seeking to be seen. So when you're insulted, pause and ask, what part of me is hurting? What am I still attached to? What identity am I defending? These moments can become teachers, not of shame, but of liberation. Because once we understand why insults hurt, we begin to free ourselves from their grip. And that is the beginning of true peace. It may surprise you to know that even the Buddha was insulted. He was one of the most peaceful beings to ever walk this earth, but not everyone loved or understood him. Some were threatened by his presence. Some were jealous of his following, and some simply didn't believe in him. But what's most remarkable is not that he was insulted. It's how he responded. Let me share with you two true stories preserved in ancient texts that show the depth of the Buddha's wisdom when facing anger and hatred. Story 1. The Angry Brahmin. One day, the Buddha was walking through a village. A man approached him, visibly angry. His eyes were burning with rage. He began shouting insults at the Buddha. "You are a fraud. You speak lies. You are misleading people." He hurled word after word, trying to provoke a reaction. But the Buddha remained calm and silent. He did not frown. He did not argue. He simply listened. When the man had finished, the Buddha looked at him gently and asked, "If someone offers you a gift and you do not accept it, to whom does the gift belong?" The man answered, "To the one who offered it." Then the Buddha said, in the same way, "I do not accept your anger and insults. They remain with you." Then he walked on peacefully, without resentment, without pride. This story is powerful because it shows us a truth we often forget. We don't have to take in everything others give us, especially not their anger or their judgment. Story 2. The false accusation. There was another time when a woman named Sundari was influenced by jealous monks. They convinced her to spread a false story. She walked near the Buddha's monastery at night, then claimed that she had been with him, implying something improper, dishonorable. The rumors spread quickly. People mocked the Buddha. They whispered behind his back. But the Buddha said nothing. He continued to meditate, to teach, to live in truth. Eventually, Sundari's lie was exposed. She was caught, and those who plotted were revealed. Still, the Buddha remained calm. He did not celebrate. He did not seek revenge, because he understood a simple truth. Truth does not need to defend itself. It stands on its own. Falsehood always collapses in time. These two stories teach us something profound. The Buddha did not need to protect his ego because he was not attached to it. He knew that what others say says more about their mind than about his being. He knew that an insult only causes pain if we hold on to it. He knew that silence can sometimes be the loudest answer. Now ask yourself, if someone insulted you in front of others, would you remain calm? Would you feel peace? Would you be free enough not to react? It is not easy. But these stories are not meant to make us feel small. They are meant to awaken us, because they remind us that this level of inner freedom is possible. Not by pretending we don't feel, but by seeing clearly that our worth is not defined by words, and our peace is not dependent on praise. Every insult is an opportunity. Not to fight, not to run, but to see. And through that seeing, we begin to grow. We begin to free ourselves. How was the Buddha able to respond with peace even when people insulted him, lied about him, or tried to humiliate him? It wasn't because he was ignoring the pain or pretending it didn't hurt. It was because he saw clearly. He understood the nature of the mind, the nature of the self, and the nature of suffering. There are 3 key teachings that shaped the way he responded. Let's explore each one. First, non-self, Anatta. The Buddha taught that what we usually call the self is not a fixed, solid thing. The image we carry, our name, status, reputation, role, is always changing. It is not who we truly are. So when someone insults us, they're not insulting a fixed me. They are aiming at an idea, a mental picture, not the essence. If you deeply realize this, insults lose their grip because there is no one inside to be wounded. The Buddha saw this clearly. That's why he didn't feel the need to protect his image. He wasn't attached to the idea of I am this or I must be seen that way. He simply remained present, rooted in awareness, untouched by praise or blame. Second, impermanence, Anicca. All things are constantly changing. Thoughts come and go. Emotions rise and fall. Praise turns to blame, and blame may turn to praise. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we cling to what cannot be held. So when someone insults us, we often hold on to it. We replay the words. We let them live inside us. But if we understand impermanence, we let them pass. An insult, like a cloud in the sky, doesn't stay forever. It arises, it passes, and it leaves no mark unless we grasp it. The Buddha saw insult as a passing event, not a permanent wound. That insight gave him freedom. Third, mindfulness and compassion. The Buddha responded with awareness, not from emotion, not from ego. He was deeply present. He saw the pain in the person who insulted him. He didn't see enemy. He saw suffering. When someone lashes out with harsh words, it's often because they're hurting. They may feel unseen. They may carry anger from long ago. They may not know how else to cry for help. The Buddha didn't take it personally because he looked deeper. He saw that responding with anger only adds to the fire, but responding with compassion can transform the moment. This is not weakness, it is strength of the highest kind. These three teachings, non-self, impermanence, and compassion, are not just concepts. They are living wisdom. They are keys to inner freedom. When we remember that the self is not fixed, we don't need to defend our image. When we remember that all things pass, we don't hold on to every word or wound. When we remember that others are suffering too, we don't take their pain as our own. This is how the Buddha responded, not through suppression, but through deep understanding. And we can too. It takes practice. It takes honesty. It takes patience. But every time you pause instead of react, every time you breathe instead of argue, you are walking the path of the Buddha. You are choosing peace over pride, clarity over chaos, wisdom over ego, and with each step, you move closer to a mind that cannot be shaken. When we are insulted, there is a powerful urge inside us. An urge to fight back, to raise our voice, to defend ourselves, to say something that cuts deeper than what was said to us. It feels like justice. It feels like strength. But is it? Let's look more closely. What happens inside the body when we get angry? The heart races. The breath becomes shallow. The jaw tightens. The mind fills with stories. They shouldn't have said that. They don't respect me. I'll show them. In that moment, we're not at peace. We're not in control. We're burning from the inside. The Buddha taught, holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. But in the end, you are the one who gets burned. Anger doesn't resolve pain. It multiplies it. You may win the argument, but lose your peace. You may silence the other, but echo their hatred inside you for hours, days, even years. We often believe that expressing our anger will make us feel better. But what really happens? For a moment, we feel powerful. Then, emptiness, regret, a wound that stays open. The problem is not that anger arises. Anger is natural. It's part of being human. The real suffering comes when we become our anger, when we act from it without awareness. The Buddha never said we must suppress anger. He taught us to observe it, to see it clearly, to understand its root. Where is this anger coming from? Is it from hurt? From pride? From fear? When we ask these questions with honesty, anger begins to dissolve, not because we forced it away, but because we saw through it. Responding with anger does not protect us. It traps us. It locks us in a cycle of reaction. One insult leads to another. One shout leads to more pain. This is the cycle of samsara. Round and round we go, never truly free. But there is another way. When someone insults you, try this. Pause. Breathe. Feel the fire rising in the body. But don't let it lead your next words. Just witness it, like a storm passing through the sky. It will come. It will go. And you will remain still. When you don't respond with anger, you don't lose. You rise. You return power to yourself. Not the power to control others, but the power to master your own mind. And that is the greatest power of all. So next time someone says something unkind, remember, you don't need to win the moment. You need to win your peace. Let anger come. Let it pass. And in its place, let clarity arise. This is the path of the Buddha. This is the path of freedom. Hearing stories of the Buddha's great calm is inspiring. But the real question is, how do we live like that? In a world full of opinions, egos, and misunderstandings, how do we practice his path when we feel insulted, criticized, or attacked? Let's begin with this truth. You don't need to be a monk. You don't need to live in a forest. You only need to be willing to pause, to look inward, and to choose differently. Here are simple but powerful steps to help you respond the Buddha's way, even when it's hard. Step 1. Pause before reacting. The first practice is to pause. This may sound small, but it is revolutionary. When someone insults you, don't answer right away. Let there be a breath, a space, a silent moment. This pause is sacred. It's where wisdom enters. It's the moment when you move from reaction to response. You don't have to figure out the perfect thing to say. You don't have to fix the situation immediately. Just pause and return to your breath. Step 2. Feel without feeding. As you pause, feel what arises in your body. The tightness, the heat, the shakiness. Allow yourself to feel it, but don't feed it. Don't build a story around the insult. Don't repeat it in your mind. Don't say, "How dare they?" or "I'll never forgive this." Just feel. Breathe. Let the energy move through you like a wave returning to the ocean. The Buddha never said we should be numb. He taught us to be present without clinging, without pushing away. Step 3. See the pain in the other. If someone insults you, it says more about them than about you. A calm mind does not lash out. Only a hurt mind does. Try to see the pain behind the words. Maybe they are stressed. Maybe they feel unheard. Maybe they don't know how to express themselves without hurting others. This doesn't excuse their behavior, but it softens your suffering. It turns your view from enemy to human being in pain. And when you see that clearly, compassion arises naturally. Step 4. Respond with clarity, or not at all. When the mind is clear, you can choose your response with care. Sometimes silence is the greatest answer. Sometimes a simple, honest statement is enough. "I hear what you're saying, Let me reflect on it. Or, I don't agree, but I wish you well. You don't need to win the argument. You don't need to be understood by everyone. Your peace is more valuable than being right. And sometimes, not responding at all is not weakness, but strength. Step 5. Reflect and let go. Later, when you're alone, take time to reflect. Ask yourself, what did I feel? Where did it come from? Was I reacting from ego or responding from awareness? This gentle self-inquiry is the heart of transformation. Then, when you're ready, let it go. Don't carry the insult like a stone in your pocket. Don't let it become part of your story. Release it like a leaf in the wind and return to the present. Step 6. Make it a daily practice. Peace is not something we visit once. It's something we build moment by moment. You can begin each day with this intention. Today, may I respond with presence. Today, may I see clearly. Today, may I not let others disturb my peace. Some days, you will still react. Some days, the anger will rise. That's okay. Just begin again. Every breath is a new beginning. The Buddha didn't teach perfection. He taught awareness. And from awareness comes freedom. When you live this way, you will still face insults. You will still encounter difficult people. But you will meet them with a mind that is not shaken and a heart that is not closed. This is the Buddha's way, not just for temples, but for every home, every office, every street. Not just for saints, but for anyone who chooses peace over pride, clarity over reaction, wisdom over ego. And that includes you. What if the insults you receive are not obstacles but opportunities? What if each harsh word could become a doorway to deeper peace? The Buddha showed us that liberation is not found in escaping the world, but in transforming how we relate to it. And that includes how we relate to criticism, judgment, and insult. Most of us see insults as something to resist, to defend against, or to avoid. But what happens when we stop running? What happens when we meet them with clarity instead of ego? That's when transformation begins. Because every insult has two sides. One is the surface, the words, the tone, the emotion. But the other is within you, your reaction, your belief, your attachment. You cannot control the first, but you can transform the second. And that is where freedom lives. The insult is a mirror. When someone criticizes you, it often reflects your own attachments. Are you attached to being seen as kind, smart, respected, untouchable? Then an insult will sting, not because of what they said, but because it touches something you cling to. The Buddha taught us, nothing can harm you as much as your own unguarded thoughts. So instead of resenting the insult, observe what it reveals. Let it be your teacher. Let it show you where you still hold on and where you are ready to let go. The insult is fuel for awakening. A difficult person can be a powerful teacher because they awaken what still sleeps inside us. The person who offends you is helping you see your impatience, your pride, your fear of being misunderstood. These moments are not mistakes. They are mirrors. They are invitations. When you respond with presence instead of anger, you are not just being nice. You are liberating yourself from the chains of reactivity. Each time you choose peace over pride, you grow stronger, not in domination, but in wisdom. You are no longer a prisoner of what others say or do. You become free. The insult is the path the Buddha once said. Just as a solid rock is not shaken by the wind, so the wise are not moved by praise or blame. This is not a distant ideal. This is a living truth. You can train your mind to be steady. You can grow a heart that is vast enough to hold both pain and peace. And in that space, insults lose their poison. They may arrive, but they do not stay. They may enter your ears, but they do not take root in your mind. You hear them, you see them, and you let them go. That is inner freedom. Freedom is not found in changing others. It is found in mastering yourself. You will never be able to control how people speak, but you can always choose how you listen, how you interpret, and how you respond. This is your power. This is your responsibility. And this is your path. So the next time someone insults you, pause and smile inwardly. Say to yourself, here is a moment to be free. Here is a chance to see clearly. Here is where the teachings live, not in books, but in life. And in that moment, you are no longer reacting from ego. You are responding from wisdom. You have taken what was meant to hurt and used it to heal. You have turned a wound into awakening. This is how the Buddha walked, and this is how you can walk too. One step, one breath, one insult transformed into freedom. You've come a long way with us. From understanding why insults hurt, to hearing how the Buddha himself was insulted, to discovering how he responded, not with anger, not with pride, but with profound stillness. You've seen the way anger burns us from the inside. You've touched the freedom that comes when we choose peace over ego. And now, it's your turn. Not to become perfect, not to never feel upset again, but to begin, gently, honestly, with intention. Because inner peace is not something we find by accident. It is something we practice, with each word we speak, with each breath we take, with each moment we choose not to fight, but to understand. This is your call, not to silence emotion, but to meet it with awareness. You will still feel anger. You will still feel the sting of harsh words. That's okay. But now you have a choice. You don't have to let those moments define you. You don't have to follow the same reactive path. Instead, you can pause. You can breathe. You can return to what is true. This is just a moment. I don't need to carry it. I choose peace. These words, said with sincerity, can become your shield. Not a hard armor of defense, but a soft cloak of clarity. You are not weak when you don't fight back. You are wise. You are not small for choosing silence. You are spacious. Every time you hold your peace, you deepen your power. Not the power to control others, but the power to govern yourself. And in that power, you become unshakable. This world needs more people like that. Not louder voices, but deeper ones. Not sharper tongues, but clearer hearts. And that can be you. Let your daily life become your temple. You don't need robes. You don't need a monastery. Your home, your workplace, your relationships, these are your real practice grounds. When the next insult comes, and it will, smile gently inside. Remember the Buddha. Remember your breath. Remember that this is your moment to walk a higher path. Not because someone else deserves it, but because you do. You deserve peace. You deserve the freedom that comes from no longer being at war with the world or with yourself. Before we close, if this message touched your heart, please take a moment to support this journey. Like this video, if it brought you clarity. Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to hear your experience. and subscribe to join our growing community of mindfulness and wisdom. Together, we're planting seeds of stillness in a noisy world. Until next time, may your steps be gentle, your heart be light, and your mind unshakable. Walk in peace, always.